Dr. Robert Lelouch, board-certified OBGYN physician with over 30 years of clinical experience. Today we're going to talk about sleeping in pregnancy. And as you can expect, it's not as good as when you're not pregnant. But we'll have some tips to help improve your sleep habits a little bit, because it's important to get as much sleep as you can. As you progress during the pregnancy, it does get more difficult to sleep, more difficult to get comfortable. You have to get up all the time to go pee, and it's really quite difficult near the end. So we'll give you just a few little pointers that might help out. So at first you might have some difficulty sleeping, because it's certainly an exciting time in your life, but it's also a time of some anxiousness, anxiety, and so some general habits that can help with sleep are valuable, like reducing your exposure to iPhones, iPads, screens before going to bed. Keep those out of the bedroom. Try to wind down a little bit before. A few helpful hints are trying to make a list, a to-do list, if you're that type of person who lays in bed and just runs through it all. Instead, before you get in your bedroom, write down a list. It uses a different part of your brain to actually physically write it down. So write down the to-do list, go into the grocery store, pick up the kids, whatever you need to do, write it down. When you lay in bed and you're trying to get to sleep and you start running through the list, say, I already wrote it down. That's one part to say in your list. Oh, I already wrote it down, I gotta move on, stop worrying about it. So that's number one. Number two is, if you're the type of person who worries about all the things that are bothering you or upsetting you, then some studies say that before you get in the bedroom, to sit down and take 10 minutes to worry. Sounds kind of strange, but if that's your personality, go over the things that are bothering you and just let it out, let yourself worry. And then when you're in bed again, the next thing you can do to help yourself is say, okay, I already worried about that. Let's focus on, now here's the thing that can help. There are many different techniques, counting sheep, all kinds of different things. What I have, a latest study has recommended, and I do myself personally, that helps me get to sleep, is called focusing on a memory. So pick the letter A and think in your past some experience that you have gone through that was relaxing, that was peaceful, that was enjoyable, that started with the letter A. For me, it was apple picking. Went in Michigan when I was younger and went to McIntosh apple picking, walking through the trees, enjoying the apples. It was really enjoyable and relaxing. So I go through that in as much detail as I can, without a goal of falling asleep, but to relax and enjoy the memory of that experience, okay? And then inevitably, your mind gets distracted. And when it gets distracted, then you try to rein yourself back in and think of the next thing that starts with A, that's a relaxing memory. If you don't have a relaxing memory that starts with A, go to B, the letter B. When you're with B, for me, it's beach. I think of being at the beach and a relaxing memory of that. So just to tell you, it's not as if you automatically start to say, oh, wow, this is working, I'm about to fall asleep. All I can tell you is I've never gotten a C. Is you go through A's and B's, and then eventually you wake up and say, oh, well, it must have worked. So that's a relaxation technique that has some evidence behind it that seems to work. Is it perfect? No. Does it give you a great night's sleep when you're 2 weeks before your due date? No, because as you get further along, your uterus is bigger, your bladder is smaller, you have to go pee more often if you're drinking adequately, and you get uncomfortable. So sometimes pillows can work between your legs. If you're having reflux, again, there's a whole other video on reflux, but you might find that tilting the bed works better, or near the very end, you might find a recliner works better than your bed, okay? The other thing is, I believe part of the interference with your sleep is training for when the baby comes and doesn't let you sleep anyway, because you need to get up and breastfeed or feed your baby or attend to them. And so one of the things I highly recommend is that you add some naps, even a 15-minute nap. Get one of those masks. Masking out the light can help, but take a nap. Even if you don't get fully asleep, there are some benefit. Take a couple of those during the day if you're able, near the end, especially in the last month, can be quite helpful for you, okay? Now, as far as in the medicine video, I go over that Tylenol PM is fine. That's diphenhydramine, which is what's in Benadryl. can be fine to take, and it might help for some women. It helps quite a bit, especially early on with nausea, but also to help you get some rest. So I hope you found these helpful hints of use, and please leave your comments. Thank you.